Hello everybody and welcome to your 41st chapter in your Java EU7 tutorial series. This episode will describe how to create weakly typed string-based criteria API queries. So what are string-based criteria API queries and what are they good for? So string-based criteria API queries or string-based queries are Java programming language queries that use strings rather than strongly typed meta-model objects to specify entity attributes when traversing a data hierarchy. An analogous term to these string-based queries is like telling your friend to look for John, but not telling him that John is actually the dog's name. String-based queries are structured similarly to meta-model queries, which can be static or dynamic, and can express the same kind of queries and operations as a strongly typed meta-model query. Although strongly typed meta-model queries are the preferred method of constructing criteria API queries, the advantage of string-based queries over meta-model queries is the ability to construct criteria queries at development time, without the need to generate static meta-model classes or otherwise access dynamically generated meta-model classes. But that's really where the string-based queries end in prose. The main disadvantage to string-based queries is their lack of type safety. This problem may lead to runtime errors due to type mismatches that would be caught at development time if you use strongly typed meta-model queries instead. So, creating string-based queries. To create a string-based query, you have to specify the attribute names of entity classes directly as strings, instead of specifying the attributes of the meta-model class. For example, this query finds all the pets entities where the value of the name attribute is Fido. This would be equivalent to the following meta-model query, where in this case we're using a meta-model class and using the meta-model's name attribute of the meta-model class, instead of using the string. So, executing string-based queries. So string-based queries are executed similarly to strongly typed criteria queries. First, you create a typed query object by passing the criteria query object to the entity manager.createQuery method. Then call either getSingleResult or getResultList on the query object to execute the query. And that's it. That's all there is about creating and using string-based criteria queries. Once again, you will be rarely using these kinds of queries because they're so unsafe. It's really not a good idea if you're going to use them, but sometimes you may run into them. So it's a good idea to know what they are and tell your friend, hey, you probably should not use that. But other than that, in the next chapter, we will be talking about controlling concurrent access to entity data with locking. And I will see you in the next chapter.